What's up, everybody? It is June 28th, 2026, and today we're going to be diving into the upcoming weather pattern, and boy, it's going to be crazy. We've got heat warnings, high wind warnings, blizzard warnings, and so much more. So without further ado, make sure to stick around till the end. We've got lots to cover. Alright, jumping right in with our precipitation type, we have a low pressure system up north here in Saskatchewan and Alberta, and also northern Montana. This low is going to be headed kind of south before it southwest, and then it kind of dissipates slightly. You can see those snow showers right here starting to happen in the northern Rockies of Idaho, Montana, and northwestern Wyoming. It is going to rain in the lower elevations, still even high elevations. Again, we're talking about June, so it's not like this happens often. All right, guys. This low pressure system just kind of comes and goes, and then it forms a buddy, and then this buddy decides to go over into Ontario and then Quebec. On the 29th, tomorrow, we see some more snow right here. You can see a little bit of that purple. By the way, there's a chart down here where my cursor is, so you can follow along. Rain in Mexico, rain in western Washington, rain in British Columbia, rain in Montana and Idaho, rain in Saskatchewan, and rain in Ontario and Quebec and Florida and the east. As we scroll on here, we have this another low pressure system that forms a buddy. This seems to be kind of a thing that keeps happening. There's going to be a low pressure system, and then it forms a buddy, and then the buddy goes whoop right over to Maine and the East Coast. That's just about it. It ends on the 4th of July, aka the 250th. We can see some rain here for the West Coast. It's going to be pretty dry, but I would say east of the Rockies is where the rain's going to be. Also, just north of the U.S.-Canadian border here in British Columbia, it will rain. Alright, looking at our 2-meter temperature in Fahrenheit, this is June 28th, Sunday, June 28th, at 11 a.m. Let's make that closer to the right time that it is right now. 7:44, rounding up to 8. So right now it is going to be roughly 100 degrees still in the desertous southwest. We've got some crazy wildfires happening down here and the Four Corners region, also of Utah, Arizona, New Mexico. I would imagine there's some in Texas. There's also some wildfires spread throughout the East Coast also. Going into the 29th, 4 a.m., let's make that around the time. At around 4 p.m. is going to be the hottest period. Actually, it's probably going to be 2 p.m., 1 to 2 p.m., June 29th, 2026. Approaching 100 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit here in Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, eastern Colorado, Denver, southwestern Arizona, southeastern California, and pretty much all of New Mexico, some of Utah, and eastern Washington. And also it's going to get to be like 100 degrees here in Alberta, northern Alberta, Canada. Going to June 30th at 9 a.m. Let's go to 2 p.m. It's also going to be very hot, maybe leaning towards hotter here in the desertous southwest. Here, July 1st at 3 p.m. Also going to be very hot. You can see it is going to be approaching 100 to 110 degrees in many places in the desertous southwest. So make sure to have backup air conditioning because this heat is no joke. On the day, the July 2nd, it's going to be very hot, approaching 110 degrees. Again, that's just kind of the system here. And as we end things off on July 4th at 11 a.m., let's go to the firework time. It's not going to be too hot, so you guys can just go chill out, dip your toes in the pool, watch some fireworks. Looking at our 2-meter temperature anomaly in Fahrenheit. Now again, this is not wintertime, we're talking about June. So this Arctic blast, quote unquote, is not going to be 30 degrees, negative 20 degrees. What it is going to be is 60 degrees, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. If you use Celsius, then I'm sorry, I don't want to do the conversion right now. But as we scroll on you can see that this Arctic blast, quote unquote, is going to be hitting the West Coast pretty hard here. And what I mean by Arctic blast is I mean that it's going to be 80s and 50s, not 30s and 20s. or whatever you want to call it. As we reach the end of our run here, that cold shot kind of gets going a little bit less. It kind of gets going away as we see some warmth headed into the west coast at the 4th of July, just to spice things up a bit. Looking at our total precipitation total in inches, right now on June 28th at 12 p.m., so let's just skip ahead there to the 4th of July. This is the accumulative, that's a tongue twister, accumulative precipitation over the course of about a month, or however 7 days, 10 days, 15 days that this thing goes out. We have heavy rains here in Saskatchewan, heavy rains on the ocean over here, heavy rains just up north and northeastern in general. I would say east of the Rockies is going to get most of the rain, though. Visibility in miles, everyone. All right, as we go on today, this is at 1 p.m. today, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. We'll have some fog rolling in here to the west coast. We'll have some fog rolling in over in the east coast. Also, a slight fog system. That's probably that low pressure system that we saw earlier starting to form over here. You can see that spiral. I'm sure there's going to be some helicity there. I saw that there was a tornado something happening there. Make sure to stick around so that way you find out. I'm not going to spoil it just yet. Some fog around the Great Lakes, visibility down to 0.1 miles, so watch out for that. Also, some visibility just ranging everywhere. Visibility problems are common. Lightning flash density, instantaneous flash, 100 kilometers every day. So this is lightning flash per day. This is not at once or in one system. This is in 24 hours. This is how many flashes you expect. So on June 28th, let's jump to 8 p.m. right like it is now. Up to 2,000 strikes possible right here, over here in Wisconsin. We've got some strikes happening over by the East Coast. As we scroll on here, we see several spots where it's like 2,000 strikes, up to 6 strikes maybe, 175, 400 strikes here up there. That's what we saw as we've reached the end of our run. Here, let's go to the July 4th for you guys. It's going to be pretty active. Well, that's 11 a.m. though. Let's jump right back. So this is July 3rd at July 4th, now here we are. So we're going to have up to 2,000 strikes here in Colorado, sections of Colorado. Far eastern Wyoming is not going to get a lot, but it's going to get some. So keep your eyes on the sky, especially if you live in Nebraska. That is probably what's going to get the most strikes as far as strike count. Looking at our high-resolution rapid refresh model, also known as the HRRR. That's kind of a tongue twister because you want to make sure you get all the R's right, but it's kind of hard to do so. All right, anyways, so this is our helicity. So this is helicity. I think I explained it in the last video, but in case you weren't able to watch that one, here is the explanation again. Helicity is basically the rotation however many meters above the ground. You can translate it to feet at home if you want, but if you do meters, then this video is for you. So this is 3,000 meters above the ground, so not sea level, the ground level. So if the ground level is 6,000 feet above sea level, then it's going to be another 3,000 meters above that ground level. So as far as our helicity, this is June 29th at this is June 29th at the most. Let's go to the most active. So this is June 29th at 10 a.m. Now it's 12 p.m. So this is 12 p.m. on June 29th. There is going to be 600 to 900 helicity here for Minnesota, which does raise some eyebrows because 700 to 900 helicity brings out some pretty good odds for tornadoes. And tornadoes are very dangerous, so please take this very seriously. Also have some 350 to 500 helicity in Washington. Also some helicity going on in the Great Lakes region is probably where I'd mainly watch out for. Also, another thing to look at is we can look at our helicity 1,000 meters, also known as 1 kilometer, I think. A helicity this far above the ground is going to be met June 29th at 3 a.m. in the morning. This may be a nocturnal tornado event, but whether or not it is, I'm seeing 500 to 600 helicity right here in your favorite state ever, Nebraska. Or Iowa, I don't know. Looking at our 10-meter wind gust in miles per hour, we are going to be looking at our winds. So right now it is pretty windy here. This is what's spreading most of the wildfires that I was talking about earlier. I would say that there's a pretty good chance of winds topping 23 to 55 miles an hour, occasional gust up to 60, potentially. That is the word, potentially. As we scroll on, the winds kind of dissipate for a minute, and then they come back on strong in some spots up to 70, 68 miles an hour is the potential thing that I'm seeing here. As we reach the end of our run, it is not going to be very windy. This is our cumulative wind gust. Gust here up to 72 miles an hour in some spots. Storm Prediction Center, also known as the SPC. We are looking at our categorical convective outlook, day 1. Right here we have some thunderstorms. We have marginal risks, which are the greener, and we have our slight risks, which are the yellows. And as we go to our day 2 convective outlook, we see more yellows here. That's why I was saying about that helicity. It's not looking good, and it looks like by July 1st, it's going to calm down a little bit. Looking at our National Weather Service hazards. This is the part that I have probably been looking most forward to, and I hope you guys have too. So these kind of gray colors are wind advisories. So we have some of those in Oregon, Washington, California, New Mexico, some of them here. These pinks, not these pinks, but like these lighter pinks right here at the top of my cursor, those are winter weather. Those are winter storm warnings. We've got winter weather advisories. These are flood watches. These purples, I have a chart down here. Those purples, I think those purple, that is an extreme heat watch. We've got red flag warnings, which are the pink. These greens are flash flood warnings. And no, those are not flash flood warnings, but regular flood warnings. It's the same thing, though. We have extreme heat watches. We have extreme heat warnings, and these oranges I will show you right here are heat advisories. And all those dark reds and stuff are extreme heat watches. This is probably going to be bad. It is going to bring lots. We have these are red flag warnings right here, and these blues, purples, just in case you need a refresher, is freeze warnings. So it's going to get freezing cold. But that is just about all the weather talk I got for you today. And without further ado, I'm going to sign off. It's pretty late, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye. Oh, and before I go, make sure to like and subscribe. We almost are so close to 45 subscribers, so it would mean a world of stuff to me if you could just subscribe and like the video. That's all I need from you guys. You guys are awesome. Goodbye.